Although I haven't played a lot of the new game mode yet. Well, I'm doing the intro before I actually play the actual game mode, but I've seen plenty of gameplay. I've seen plenty of other things, such as the Cali thing that Kudos did a couple weeks ago. I'm also doing this a week late, so I'm sorry about that. I didn't have enough time to do enough editing on this, so I had to do it a week later. But if you want to know what I generally think of this idea of adding a new armor system into the game, after, 10 years this game's been out, I think that is an absolutely terrible idea, Ubisoft. Ubisoft probably looked at the bigger picture, right? They've probably already seen what all the operators do, and what small changes they could make, and what small changes they made because of this armor system. It's just terrible. Imagine a Juggernaut, 150 HP Blackbeard running at you, or a 70 HP 3-armor Blitz, or 3-speed Blitz. That just sounds terrible, if I'm being honest. This is a short made by Kudos, really well known and great content creator for Rainbow Six Siege. If you've never seen this clip before, feel free to go check him out. But I think this, Cali not being able to one-shot anymore with this armor system in Juggernaut, that's just crazy. It's kind of a weird thing to change after 10 years. I feel like no one's really complaining about it. Anyway.
How hard is it to kill a 170 HP Rook armored player with Cali? Let's test this right now. So I'm doing this at a realistic distance. Rook is by Rafter's door, which is roughly 24 meters away. And I want to put this in a realistic scenario if I'm playing outside Breach for Cali and a Rook swings. So I'm going to zoom in as well so we can get a good shot of this. I'm going to shoot him in the chest. Ready? Rook is still alive. So let me just undeafen. How much HP are you on?
35.
35 HP. Okay. So if we took the 20 away as well, you would be on what, 15 HP?
15, yeah.
Yeah. So you still would have survived that just being a Juggernaut anyway. So even if you didn't have the Rook armor on, you still would have survived that. And I'm all the way back here with a sniper. So this next shot should be a kill shot. But then of course you get injured as well. So if you just res yourself, you can get back up again. So that's technically 2 shots you survived. Obviously that one's probably a bit more unreal.
If you've never seen Kudos before, make sure you go check him out. He's a really awesome content creator for everything Rainbow Six Siege. But this video is not about him, it's about the armor system, and it's also not about my absolutely terrible teammates. Another thing about the armor system, if you want to have a very fast operator, you need to sacrifice HP, which is generally balanced. You don't want to just be able to up your speed without having any consequence. That's unrealistic in any game, really. But in Rainbow Six Siege, you go down to 70 HP for the fastest armor. This is absolutely terrible because you can get two-shotted by a lot of weapons. And in a way, it's kind of buffing pea shooter weapons, but also who's running. What's the lowest damage weapon in the game? I have to Google that. So, Google says P90. I'm not sure about that. That's probably not right. But just imagine you have a stack of how many, you can get probably 3 Juggernaut shields. You have the weakest weapon in the game versus 3 Juggernaut shields and a Blitz. You're cooked. Literally just Blackbeard wins. Anyway, I've talked a lot about shields and specifically Blackbeard, but you also can't not talk about Rook and Doc. Well, with a Doc stem, I've seen a couple tests, you can get, with a Rook armor and a Doc stem, you can get up to 190 HP. I mean, that's overhealed, by the way, so you wouldn't stay at 190, you'd stay at 170, I believe, and 170 is a lot of health, especially because some of the damage that ARs do and stuff like that. It's still a one-shot headshot game, but having 150 HP against some players who can't hit headshots, that is a just crazy thing, and it's going to take way too many bullets, and people might honestly stop playing the game. This honestly would probably make me play the game a little bit less if they actually added this, but I'm sure Ubisoft doesn't really care about me at all. I'm just expressing my opinion. I do really like the way that they did it, where they did a testing ground, and then players were able to give their feedback. This is a great way for Ubisoft to do this. I think they should do this more often, but not too often to the point where you'd have to submit a response every single time. I just think this is not a update they should do after 10 years of the game being this way. I'm not sure, is anyone even complaining about the armor right now? The armor right now isn't even that bad.
Grenade out!
I've talked about small nerfs of operators such as Cali. Another big shout out to Kudos. I really do like these tests that he does and stuff like that. Really great YouTuber, in my opinion. He does everything from lore, gameplay changes, etc. Sorry. This makes Cav a decently greater operator because she's faster and she's also quieter. Not talking about her HP though. The HP is pretty bad still. I don't know if there's any like better way they could add an armor change. I'm kind of blanking on the point of making an armor change after 10 years, but I mean, if it's a community issue that a lot of people kind of agree that needs to be changed, I do think they can make a better way to make this work. Like, it makes sense for them to have an armor change to a point, but you also have to realize this is a tactical game, and people would like to have a kind of semi-slower paced game at some point, but also have, like, people like fast-paced games, but also you need to realize it's a tactical game, so you still have to have time to reinforce and everything like that. There's no way for them to make a speed change that's, like, makes the game faster, but also makes the game, like, if you're not as good as a player and you need the kind of slower gameplay, if you like that type of thing, it would lose them players, etc. You kind of have to balance that. I don't know why, but I like testing out different operators within this. So, for example, Scopos. I've been having a bit of fun on Scopos, actually, with the heavy armor, because I have more HP, and the speed doesn't really make that big of a difference, because you can swap across the map. But if you just place one Scopos on top floor and one Scopos on bottom floor, you can easily switch between those and not have to do staircases. Like, if you're playing a roamer, if you're playing Vigil and you need to get from the bottom to the top, it's not going to take you sprinting all the way up there, even though you're still the fastest speed in the game. And also, for some reason, I feel like this kind of buff shotguns against the lower speeds. It also kind of depends, because you might be able to actually tank a shotgun shot from farther away, or even like up close with a full Juggernaut. In this clip, I am playing Cav. I have the lowest armor set up on Cav, and I get one-shotted by an Amaru shotgun across the room. And with my experiences with the shotgun Amaru has, the Supernova, that thing is like literally a boss G, but actually has spread. It shoots longer ranges, and that thing's like half a sniper rifle in my opinion. But it just one-shots me instantly. I don't even get a chance to react. Well, I got to react to Amaru coming through the window, but that was about it. I don't know if this is a bug or something, but I got this when I was trying to run out of spawn on Cafe. I was running against the wall because I was trying to do something on my phone while the run was starting, and I just was absolutely slow. This is what I expected Juggernaut to be, for being honest. If this is like the highest armor you got, this is looking good, Ubisoft. This is a good buff for Blackbeard. Well, I mean, looking back at this clip, I can definitely say the P90 is a really weak weapon, and this RAM, I'm guessing, was probably a Juggernaut. I'm not 100% sure, but literally just looking at this, it took way too many bullets. Even though it was leg shots, I feel like it took way too many bullets to kill this person. Anyway, I'm going to wrap it up here. I'm going to say that this change needs a little bit more tweaking, in my opinion. I think Ubisoft should definitely, like, if it's a big issue, I honestly don't see it as an issue currently, but I think they could tweak a couple operators if that's the problem, but I don't think an entirely new armor system is a good change. After 10 years of the game, I brought this up a bunch of times in this video, but after 10 years, you do not need to implement an completely new armor system. I don't think it's a really good change. I've also said that a lot. I've talked to a couple of my friends, they also agree that this is not a good change. One person said it was a good change, but I'm not 100% sure if they were in their right mind to be answering that question. But anyway, my point still stands. If they're going to make a different type of armor, then I think they should look more into that, talk more with the community, and I don't know, this could be a reasonable change if enough people think, but I'm not really trying to speak for the community, but I don't think this really needs a change. Anyway, with all that coming to a close, I honestly found this video a little bit of fun to make. I do think this armor system is alright, but I don't think it's necessary in the game currently. Anyway, I did hit a couple clips. Here you guys go. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next week.